Devil's joint, Devil's joint, New Jersey Devils. Devil's joint.
Well, hello there, Devils fans. Welcome back to the Devils You Know. I've been a little bit sick lately. Haven't been able to make any content. I hope you read my last little thing that I put together. Just a couple of notable goalies from before Marty Brodeur era. You know, Chris Terreri, obviously, you got Chico Resch, who started it all over there. And I left out a lot of guys, but I wanted to talk about major players like Kirk McLean, and then also big-time goalies that were also there, like Sean Burke. That was basically the gist of that. So if you haven't read that, check it out. It's on Substack, of course. So I have a question. Do you know? A lot of people wore the number 25 for the Devils. You had Zelapukin when I was, even before Zelapukin, but from when I can remember my memories of the Devils, Zelapukin was wearing number 25, around 94, 95. That's the last, as far back as I can remember being at any games. I was at plenty of games before that, but I just don't have any memory of it. It's, I was young. But a lot of people wore number 25. And in the middle of that, it was the Devils won the Cup in 2003, 2000, 95. And speaking of 2003, January 17th of 2023. So that's mid-season of the year that they won the Cup. Which player that year scored his 500th career regular season goal for the Devils? Well, while on the Devils, not all of them were scored on the Devils. And I think any old school hockey fan will obviously know the name Joey Nieuwendyk. Joe Nieuwendyk got injured and did not play in the finals. A 7-game final series against Anaheim, where the Devils had 3 home shutouts, but each home team won every game. Very interesting. What if you've even ever thought of this? Let me know in comments. Anywhere you're seeing this or hearing it, if there's comments, leave one. Let me know what you think. What would have happened if Joe Nieuwendyk was in the lineup? That would have changed the whole team. Everything would have been different if Joe Nieuwendyk was in the lineup. Lines would have changed. Things would have been different. The second you move a player a foot to the left, everything will change in the future. You understand what the concept I'm getting with it. I hope, at least. If you don't, then I'm an idiot. But we'll stick to 2023. Let me get the light on. I know you can't see me, but I can't see anything. June 9th, 2003, the Devils clinched the 3rd Stanley Cup title in team history by defeating the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, which was what they were called at the time. 3-0 in Game 7 at Continental Airlines Arena. Was a great game. Love to see the shutouts. Love the shutouts. We love the shutouts. They're huge. Jeff Friesen scored twice. Mike Rupp netted the game-winning goal, which was the first goal of the game. Woo-hoo! Mikey Rupp. And Martin Brodeur made 24 saves for his 3rd shutout of the final, and he did not win the Conn Smythe Trophy after 3 Stanley Cup final shutouts in one series. It's not like it's all-time shutouts in the finals. It's in one series. A 7-game series, nonetheless, where those shutout games were very important. All home games, too. Which Devils player was named an alternate captain of the United States for the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver? I mean, U.S. 2010 United States Devils, Zach Parise, whatever. On January 30th, 2009, the New Jersey Devils honored longtime broadcaster Mike. What's his name, guys? Mike what? Mike Doc Emmerich. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't put the volume up for that. Let's do it one more time. That's a little Emmerich score for you, and a Chico. Woohoo! That was a Cam Jansen. That was a Cam Jansen goal, by the way. Anyway, back to this. I was at this game. The Devils honored longtime broadcaster Doc Emmerich before defeating the Pittsburgh Penguins 4-3 in overtime at the Peru Center at the Rock. In November of 2008, Emmerich was named the recipient of the Foster Hewitt Award for contributions to hockey broadcasting. Probably the best there ever is. The best there is? I'm sorry. The best there ever will. Wait, what's Bret Hart's fucking thing? The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Doc Emmerich. And you know what? I am so proud to say that I have his. And ironically, we were just talking about Vancouver. In a game against Vancouver, that's when I went and sat with Doc and Chico, and Doc gave me his game notes from that game. And Doc and Chico signed it, and it's on a white folder for the New Jersey Devils, organizational folders or whatever they have, and all his handwritten notes are in there, plus the note, the printed out, rosters, all that stuff, all signed by Doc himself and Chico Resch. I also have the 2 ticket stubs from the 2 games that we sat up there with them, me and my brother. We didn't get the notes both times. We got them the first time. But we went to 2 games in a row. I have those ticket stubs signed by them as well. And ticket stubs. Another thing about ticket stubs. Let's talk about ticket stubs. I went to see, if you listen to 90s alternative music and you like some of that shit, which I do. I'm metalhead, but I also like Radiohead, and you know what? I wouldn't have even thought about it, but the band live, Lightning Crashes, have a multitude of hit songs. They're great, and they sound great live. So I saw them. I was always wondering about the band live. Did they regret naming their band Live? Because then they have to go, if you look them up, you have to type in live and then put music next to it, or live band, or live the band. You can't just press put the name Live into Google and you're not going to get the band right at the top. That's you're gonna be on page 76 before you find the band. So I wonder if they regretted that, because once they made it, they stuck with the name Live. I really wonder why. It's not a great name. There's a couple of bands out there that, I wish rethought their names before they, whatever. What uniform number did Brian Giunta wear for the Devils? Do you know? I know. I was in the jersey. We'll call it a Bastion. On January 10th, 2009, that U.S. dude, Zach Parise, scored his 100th career regular season goal, all with the Devils, during a 5-1 victory against the Kings at Staples Center. He scored against Johnny Quick at 2:18 of the second period. John Quick, great goalie. Can't deny Johnny Quick and his magic throughout his career. This is a good one, and it's really, I would say this is a hard one. Maybe someone might get half of this. Which 2 players did the Devils select in the first round of the 1982 NHL entry draft? Which 2 players were chosen in the first round of the 1982? I don't know why I'm talking like that. In the 82 entry draft, which is the first entry draft that the New Jersey Devils as a team ever had. Well, I'll give you one. At 8th overall, they took Rocky Trache, which was a great pick. But I think their better pick was at 18th overall, because they picked Kenny Danico, Mr. Devil himself, in the 1980. That motherfucker was drafted before I was born. 1982 draft, first round pick. Remember, Ken Danico was no, what's that word? He's no slouch. He was an fucking first rounder. And you know what? In 82, a lot of good players were around too. I mean, I know the goalies were letting in 20 goals a game. If Wayne Gretzky started his NHL career in 1990 instead of 1980 or whatever the fuck it was, 79, and changed it to 89, he wouldn't have had half his fucking goals. With the goalies that were started playing in the early 2000s, the late 90s, where after he was retired, he would have never. Lemieux, if he was able to play the games, because he never even hit 1,000 games, Mario Lemieux, 915 games, I think. He would have flourished still, because he had it all. He had the body, he had the toughness. He could, yeah. I'm a Mario guy when you go Mario Wayne. That's just me. Ken Danico, my man. Check out my interview with Ken Danico from 2 or 3 weeks ago, whenever the hell that was. Down below, just scroll down, you can find it. It's pretty much how that works. On December 5th, 1996, this random rookie player that really meant nothing to the Devils at all, named Patrick Elias, recorded his first career regular season point during a 2-1 victory against the Calgary Flames at the Continental Airlines Arena. What? Oh yeah, for a second I just put Continental Airlines and Prudential Center, and I switched them in my head, and I was like, wait a second, that wasn't there yet, but yes, it was. He assisted on Bobby Holik's game-winning goal at 4:24 of the third period, and that wasn't his first stint playing with Bobby the Brain Holik. No, it was not. Who scored the first regular season goal for the New Jersey Devils at the Prudential Center, and I was there for that, so I know that for a fact. We already spoke about him tonight. It was Brian Giunta. I was right behind the net for that goal. It was against Ottawa, of course. What does it say here? Brian Giunta, October 27, 2007 against Ottawa. Yeah. I have the poster from opening night at the Rock, inaugural season for the Prudential Center. I have the poster. I have like one of them left, and I am going to send it out and give it to someone. So if you want one of those posters, let me know. It's a little. I record this stuff live, so I'm not gonna do any editing afterwards, or otherwise I would. If I knew I was gonna talk about that, I would pull up a picture of it. But yeah. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I could just find a picture of it on Google so you can see what it looks like real quick. Let's see. NJ Devils opening night Prudential Center poster. Oh, there's a picture of one. Alright, I guess I'll share this. Let's see. Bigger. So this is what it looks like. So if you want one of those, let me know. Some good ones I got today. So this is a good episode of the Devils You Know. I'm going to end it with this. Another Patrick Elias fact. We're going to end with a Patty Elias factoid. On October 18, 2008, Patrick Elias, of guess what team? The New Jersey Devils, of course, broke the franchise record for career assists in a 4-3 shootout victory against the Washington Capitals at Verizon Center. Elias recorded his 365th assist, all with the Devils, on Peter Vrana's first period goal to pass defenseman Scott Niedermayer. Now, wow, they said some names there, and Peter Vrana is like one of those very, one of those people that aren't named very often. I guess I'll say that. How about this? Who was the last player? This is how we're gonna end this on a trivia question, and I'm not even gonna leave the answer. I'm not gonna tell you the answer. So if you are listening, give me the answer. Who was the last player to wear number 30 before the Devils gave it to Martin Brodeur? So if you can answer that question, I will. You know what? If you can answer that question, I will definitely make you one of those big-time winners. And know what Doc says about that. All right, well, I guess it's about time to go. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you in a day or two.
Devil's joint. Devil's joint. Real Jersey Devil.